Hello and welcome to Bree's ADD Diary. I'm Bree and I have a stalker. So this is going to be another difficult episode. I have been putting this episode off for weeks. Um, when I wrote it all out, because I write I write my episodes out first, just kind of like what I want to say. When I wrote this one out, I went into a lot of detail, and then when it was time to record and I looked back at it, it just, I don't know if it was the ADHD or the PTSD. It's kind of hard to tell which is which sometimes. But when I look back at it, it just felt so overwhelming, and I just kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And I got a lot of anxiety around it. So I kind of just dropped the whole thing completely. So I heard somewhere that, if you're procrastinating, if you're having a hard time doing something, try it 15, 20 minutes and then, take a break, or, at least do 15, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you can, right? So my thought process was like, okay, well, maybe if I can just tone it down a bit. So edit myself a bit. So I turned it into just kind of like short, snappy bullet points. So that seems more doable for me. And here we are. I'm actually recording. It's not going to be the best audio, but I'm doing it. And that's the whole point, right? Sometimes you just have to jump in there and do it. So yeah, this is a difficult topic for me to talk about. I think, besides all the other stuff, this one is still just more recent. These are things that have happened this year, last year, so all very recent incidences, so a bit harder for me to talk about. So if you listen to the last episode, I have an abusive ex. The abusive ex is my stalker, right? No surprise there. So I am recording in a different place, so you might hear my cats. That might happen. Yeah, so little history with that. So we were separated in 2018. I did have a restraining order against him from 2018 to 2020. Restraining orders do expire. Unfortunately, mine expired in 2020. And then we officially divorced in 2023. So why did it take so long to get officially divorced? Because court takes a very, very long time, and I have literally been in and out of court constantly for the last 7 years. This is something abusers do. They use the court system to continue to harass their victims. And it's perfectly legal. Yay. For example, this year I've been to court 4 times, and we're only like halfway through the year. So, okay, that breathing is my cat. He has a health condition. He is on medication, but he constantly just kind of sounds like he has a stuffy nose. He is on medicine, I swear. He's okay. Anywho. Okay, so like I said, I'm just gonna jump into this, try to make it quick, I think, because that's the only way I'm gonna be able to get through this. So I do want to talk about this, though, because I do think it's important. I want to discuss stalking behaviors, because we need to be aware of them, and we need to take them seriously. We need to not minimize them, which sometimes we do, or sometimes other people might tell us that it's not a big deal when we know that it is. And we definitely don't want to romanticize this stuff, because it's unhealthy and it's not okay, right? So a lot of times romantic movies and whatnot, like, the main character will full on like stalk the other character. It's not cute. It's not romantic. It's not healthy. It's fine in entertainment, right? It's fine to pretend to be in that situation, but in when you're looking for like real life healthy relationships, don't do that. Don't do it. All right. So, number 1, a stalking behavior, sending unwanted gifts and or items. So just recently, my ex has been bringing flowers to the court-ordered child exchange, right? So we meet at a separate location because he has my child and I need to go there and get my child back. So, right, I have to do it. It's the only way I can get my child back. So bringing flowers, which is obviously very uncomfortable. And he has also been slipping like creepy love letters for me into my child's backpack for me to find. Um, Again, I've, and I think a lot of times victims will blame themselves. I've given my ex no indication that I want any sort of relationship with him, right? I had a restraining order against him. I divorced him. And that's again, it's this obsessive stalking mentality that they have. They're just in their own reality that they build. It's anywho. Okay, continuing on. All right, so number 2, following and surveillance. Obviously not good. So one time, again recently, my child told me that my ex asked my child to show my ex where we live. And my ex even went up to my home and was like looking in my windows. And then on a separate occasion, after I picked up my child, right? It was one of those child exchanges, right? So my ex followed me back to my home and wouldn't leave until I gave him some ice for his head, which he said he had bumped while playing with my child. We did the exchange outside of a restaurant, so he could have easily gone into that restaurant and got an ice if he really, really wanted it. But the point was to follow me home. And I don't know if he thought I was going to invite him in or I don't know what he thought, but obviously it was not good. And, I clearly said, don't do that. I'm not comfortable with this, and again, he completely blew off my concerns and minimizing like, oh, it's just ice. Don't make a big deal. And it's like, you literally followed me home. Okay. Number 3, uses third parties to contact and harass. So my ex told my mom to tell me to talk to him. He also had my child record a message that we should get back together, and then he sent that to me. So again, very manipulative and just not a healthy conversation to be having with my child, right? When there's 2 divorced parents, that is not something you want to put on your child or in your child's head, right? That's a whole nother thing. I'm not going to get into that. And then just recently, he called my mom and asked her to let him, so my ex, into my home. So he tried to gain access to my home. And obviously I would say no, so he called my mom and asked her. I mean, these are difficult things to talk about. This is really upsetting for me. And unfortunately, like I said, I've been to court and I go back to court next month, but from the conversations I have with the mediator, no one seems to be taking these things very seriously. Unfortunately, that does happen. And I think court, law enforcement, stalking needs to be taken more seriously. It's not okay. And the only way that's going to happen is if we talk about it. So I'm doing my part, I guess. All right. So, some other red flags to look out for. Excessive communication. So, if someone's texting you constantly, um, getting upset when you're not responding back, like right away, those are definitely some red flags. Showing up uninvited. It's not cute. It's weird. It's creepy. And then, of course, the overreaction to boundaries when you do set a boundary, or minimizing your concerns when a clear boundary has been ignored or overstepped, right? And then refusing to go no contact is not okay, right? If someone needs some space, give it to them. it's not that hard. Yeah. Okay. So, what do I want to talk about next? Sorry, this was hard for me, so my notes are a little bit all over the place. Okay. All right. I think one of my cats just hissed. They actually kind of like fight with each other, but like in a friendly way. They like each other, sort of. Okay, so I'll just real quickly jump into the mental. Why are you hissing? Okay, anywho, sorry. All right. So mental health effects of being stalked. I mean, obviously not good. Again, this is why we need to be taking these things more seriously. So generalized anxiety, panic attacks. So when the restraining order expired, my ex went from not being able to contact me to contact me whenever he wanted to, and it was a lot. And there was text messages coming in all the time, 2, 3 in the morning. So my phone literally became like a little bomb to me. Every time a notification went off, it was awful because I didn't know, was it an email? Was it him again? Or was it just a text message from my mom? Or, so it was awful. It was like Russian roulette with my phone, and it was terrible. And I actually started having panic attacks. So what I did about that is, I blocked his number, and we only communicate on one certain app. And when he does not have my child, I turn off notifications. And that way, because whatever he needs to say to me, it's not pressing unless he has my child. Then it can be, right? Of course, because if there's an emergency, if he needs to ask me something. But every other day of the week is mine, and I get to have a mental break from him. And so those are very important. If this is something you are you are forced to deal with, court ordered, forced to co-parent with your stalker, it's very important to give yourself those mental breaks. That's not going to work for everyone. Again, it's only a couple of days a week, but I do get them where I don't have to think about him, communicate with him, nothing, right? So those are very helpful. Anywho, okay, back to mental health effects of being stalked. Hypervigilance, feeling unsafe in your own home, depression, social withdrawal, PTSD, difficulty feeling safe enough to sleep, paranoia and distress, avoiding public places and social activities, and then constant worry and distraction. And this one might just be me, but my claustrophobia has gotten so bad. And I think it's just that the PTSD is part of that, right? Because it's that feeling of being trapped or kind of like confined, forced to be in this area you don't want to be in. I don't know. I'm sure it has, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm sure it has something to do with the PTSD. I just don't know. Maybe that'll be another fun episode I'll do. Okay, so what can we do about this? So again, if you are struggling with um, domestic abuse, unhealthy relationships, stalking. You just have questions. There's the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233. There's also Stalking Prevention Awareness and Resource Center, which is SPARC, so SPARC. And then there is stalkingawareness.org, which is a website you can go and check out. And then it's just important to create a safety plan. So I need to update mine. I haven't looked at it in a hot minute. Again, because it like gives me anxiety to look at it and think about this stuff, but like I have to. Like I have to do it. So create a safety plan, list of important numbers, safe places to go, important information, your abusers, stalkers, uh, any information you have on them, their address, their phone number, their license plate, all of those things are going to come in handy. Just try. And this is like so hard. This is where the ADHD comes in, and it's like because I'm like bad at obviously like organization and keeping track of things and putting things in their proper places. But it is important to create a safety plan, which I will update. Not today, but I will. But I should. I know. Okay. Anywho. So what am I doing specifically? I should be going to therapy. Oh my God, but that's a whole nother thing with my health insurance. That's another episode. God, what a hot mess that has turned out to be. All right. Anywho, be really firm in your boundaries. I have to be really firm in mine and communicate when, because, and that's the thing, they're going to push and push and push and push and push and against these boundaries. And you just have to like over and over and over again, basically just, you have to become a broken record. No. Okay. I mentioned how I mute the app, give myself some mental break days. I don't do social media. I don't put any personal information out there. I don't share my location, right? Social media, you can like, I sound so old. I don't know. I don't use any of it because he actually hacked my stuff at one point and was using it to stalk me. So I don't tag, my location, whatever. When people are posting pictures of me, I ask them to wait, like, post it the next day when I'm not there, right? Just so there, it's just, again, it's part of the paranoia and the whatnot, but like, I don't want people to know where I'm at a very specific time, right? Except for like my mom or my sister. Anywho, door cameras, very important. I just got one for my birthday. Hey. Talk to your neighbors. Let your neighbors know. They can keep an eye out for you too if your neighbor's cool and not weird. Let work know. I've definitely done that before. Shared his picture with work. Not at my current job, but I did at my previous job. Yeah. So if you have any advice, if you would like to share your experience in the comments, have at it. Please do. So again, this was a difficult episode for me. Not going to do a super fun Bree's hyperfixation of the week. It's still about stalking. So, did you know 70% of victims of stalking do not report? Which is understandable. It's there can be shame, there can be embarrassment, you can minimize it, you don't trust authorities, they're not going to do anything, they're not going to take you seriously. There might be some privacy concerns, financial concerns, which I know when I did mention this to the court, they were like, well, why didn't you file a restraining order? And I was like, I already have to take so much time off work to come to court. Every time my ex wants to change the custody order, which is like all the time. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. You have to pay to have paperwork filed. You have to pay for a lawyer. To get a restraining order is a trial. I need a lawyer to do that. I can't cross-examine somebody. I don't know how to do those things. Like, all of this takes time and money and resources, and sometimes you just want, since I'm in court anyways, I was like, hey, help me with this. But they were like, nah, this is separate. You need to go file a restraining order and do a separate thing. And I was like, ugh, I wish there was there should be some help, right? It shouldn't be so costly for victims, but it's just, this is our system, and our system is stupid and it needs to be better. That's my whole thing. Yeah, and then there's, of course, like, concern about victim blaming. And again, like I said, stalkers create their own reality. I have it, and there's nothing you can do. It's not nothing you can do. Like, you're not powerless, but I'm saying you didn't cause this, right? Because they have their own reality where a no is a yes and a get away from me is come here, and you can say everything right and do everything right, and they're still gonna come up with their own strange rationalization for doing what they're doing. So it's not your fault. You can take steps to protect yourself, though. So please do that. Yeah, so I think that is going to be it. Oh my God, I'm so happy to be done with this episode that I've been putting off forever, so I can actually talk about something fun next episode, hopefully, because these last 2 episodes have been like 2 downers in a row. Oh my gosh, I put it off for so long I didn't remember what I say at the end. Anywho, fill in the catchphrase because I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I do. Now go out there and be your best chaotic self. Okay, bye.